everybody. Our team is going to be presenting on happiness and productivity in the workplace. My name is Kayla.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Bailey.
I'm Angita.
I'm Sergio.
And this is our presentation.
For this position, our team believes that there is a direct correlation between happiness and productivity in the workplace. As employee happiness is increased in the workplace, employee productivity also increases. Due to their level of happiness with their work and their place of business, we will study the effects of increased happiness on employees and in turn how it affects their levels of productivity.
Our purpose is to prove that increased happiness has a positive correlation. We believe that managers have an important role when it comes to employees' happiness and productivity. This is important because our happiness in a company can affect a company's results if employees aren't working at 100% and they aren't happy.
Through our research, we have found that the happier the employees are, the more productive they will be. Supervisors and employees must work together to reach terms and conditions that will make their jobs enjoyable. We have found that employees who are satisfied with the aspects of their job will cause them to be more willing to work, which increases their productivity. We have also come to find that putting too much focus on happiness may lead to employees feeling too comfortable in their position, which means that they will view the supervisor as a friend, and that may lead to a decrease in productivity. There must be a balance in being happy in the workplace so that they can feel good about going to the job without viewing it as being a place to socialize.
So for our presentation, we decided to do some surveys, and we sent a survey to 50 people, and these are some of our results. So one of our questions were, what were the preferred hours that you would like to work? In our hopes of proving that if people got to choose their hours or what hours works best for people, that would be able to increase their productivity. So you can see in this chart that most of the people we surveyed thought that 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., the traditional like 8-hour workday, that would be best suited for them. So taking this information, that's something that we could suggest to employers is instead of having people work 9 to 5 or 6 to 2, and 8 to 4 would work better for most people. We also surveyed people's overall happiness at work. So we put a scale of 1 to 10 and asked people to choose how happy they were. As you can see, majority of people lie between a 5 and an 8. This survey was done between all of our different places of business. So there is a wide range of overall happiness, but I think it's safe to say that most people are either just kind of satisfied with what they're doing now, or they like working now. With these surveys as well, we decided to poll if people ate at work, if they spent money on lunch or like a certain meal at work. And most people do eat at work. They eat at least one meal, especially because people nowadays are working 8 hours. We have a lot of people that are stopping to take a lunch break or a dinner break, and most people are buying out. So instead of like packing a brown bag for lunch, they decide to eat out. And for how much people spent on that meal, most people lie between $4 and $10. You can see here that most people lie between the $8 and $10 range. This would be more like upscale fast food, like a Chipotle or a Panda Express type situation. And I think that a way that we could definitely increase happiness in our workplace is if our employers set up a petty cash fund and maybe treated the employees to lunch one day a week. This means that the employee is not spending their hard-earned money on lunch, but that the employer is treating them and recognizing how hard they work for the company.
So we also conducted some interviews with managers to kind of ask them about our survey and what they thought of the results and kind of get their feedback on the topic of happiness and productivity in the workplace in general. So I spoke with Hillary Vasquez, who is the former manager at the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control in Monrovia. And a lot of what I asked her was just different questions about being happy at work and in her career in general, such as if she believes that employee happiness should be important to managers, which she definitely thought that it should be because it leads to higher morale in the workplace. I asked her what does she think contributes to a positive work environment and what contributes to a negative one. As far as a positive work environment, she stated that cooperation from managers is definitely a big part of what can contribute to a positive work environment, as well as just happy employees in general can lead to a positive work environment. And a negative work environment, she stated that if there is no guidance or communication from managers, or if there is a lack of leadership or low employee morale, this definitely can affect the workplace and cause a negative work environment. And one question that I thought was very interesting was when I asked, "Is being happy at work or in her career important to her? Why or why not?" And it seems like a lot of people would say yes because they feel that it makes a happy workplace for everyone. And this was her answer, that when everyone is happy in the workplace, it can lead to the spread of happiness just by osmosis and being around other people, and the happiness levels go up and the productivity levels go up.
So I also conducted an interview for this assignment, and I decided to interview Kelsey Jackson. She is an executive team leader for Target Company, and I basically asked, what are your sources of like happiness in the workplace, and what do you think makes your team members happy, and how you got to your position and what makes you happy in your position. So she currently is working as the executive team leader, and that is a stepping stone that she needs to get to the next career, and that would be her end goal career, is this next step. So I asked how she felt about that, about having to do this job as just another step in the process, and she said that her overall happiness in her current position is pretty high. There are some points where she feels that because it is just a stepping stone and it's not really an end goal for her, that she could be happier, and she credits this to her work schedule currently. So she works very erratic hours. She doesn't have most weekends off. She has to work every holiday. And in this type of managerial position, she feels that she should have those weekends off. She's worked for the company for over 10 years now. And so we can conclude from some of these interviews that having special hours and having some weekends off, holidays off, those are all things that are really important to employees. And the benefits of having the company open on weekends and holidays does not outweigh their happiness.
So for the next couple slides, I took some of the sources and studies that we found in our research for this project. And the first one here, it was actually conducted at Cal Poly Pomona over the course of a few years. 850 students were surveyed about happiness and their level of happiness in the workplace, and they were asked these 4 questions in the survey, which was, how do you define happiness? What makes you happy? What does the pursuit of happiness mean to you? And is a happy employee a more productive employee? And I found these questions very interesting because they seem to be very subjective questions, and that's kind of what the study found as well, as you see in the next slide, where there was a wide variation of answers in these questions, and they had to group a lot of the answers into very general categories for defining happiness, such as achievements and goals, or enjoyment, or even need, want, fulfillment, things like that. But they found it very difficult to measure happiness, and it seems to mean different things to different people, which can make it hard to foster employee happiness in the workplace, which is definitely understandable. However, there are certain things we believe that all employees want, such as recognition for a job well done or interest in their well-being, whether it be within the workplace or outside of the workplace. And in the study, they wanted to keep the correlation in mind of happiness and productivity and how those two topics are definitely linked somehow. Now, another study that was done was at the University of Warwick with 700 participants. Now, these were randomly selected individuals that were made happier through either the viewing of a short comedy clip or they were provided drinks and snacks prior to being part of the study. And what they found was that the individuals who either watched the comedy clip or were provided with drinks and snacks were 12% happier and more productive in the control group. They also studied the major real-world shocks that many of us go through, such as bereavement and family illness. And this was observed to show that when one person is going through something such as bereavement or family illness, that they obviously have a lower happiness level, which led to lower productivity, which led the study to state that lower happiness is systematically linked to lower productivity levels. Based on the studies and research that we have looked at over the last few weeks, we have learned that happiness and productivity are linked and can directly affect a company's output. Now, it is important for managers and companies to take an interest and invest in their employees' happiness and well-being within the workplace and outside of the workplace, as this will help foster employee happiness in the workplace and lead to increased productivity. Additionally, this will also lead to greater interpersonal communication skills between employees and their supervisors in the workplace, which will also foster employee happiness. Now there is a skit that we would like to show you.
Guys, welcome to Target's monthly employee forum. So as we all know, this is a time where we can discuss any grievances, any congratulations we have to give to each other, and basically just talk about what's going on, what we can do better for you, and see what everybody's interested in. So I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody has anything they'd like to talk about now, go ahead and fire away.
Well, something I'd like to talk about is employee recognition. You know, I feel like we work very hard here, and I think just the little things that we do can really make an impact on our lives if we really showcase it to other people, especially if we don't know, or someone's not working at that specific time, or a manager's not there to see it. So I think if we do some kind of wall of recognition where we're putting up post-it notes that show what we're doing. So if I were to see that someone is doing something, I can write it up there so that a manager can see or other people, and we can later on that week just recognize them for their hard work. So
I think Sergio brings up a great point there. It feels like sometimes we're only admonished by our supervisors, or they see something bad, they tell us that we did a bad job, we did something wrong, but they don't see all the good stuff we do, and we don't get recognized for that. And additionally, I feel another way that something could be done better is being more interested in employee well-being and just how they're feeling at a certain point. Maybe they're going through a rough time and it's being kind of hard for them to be at work because maybe there's a family member that's ill or something like that. It's just an example, obviously. But having that sense that your supervisor actually cares about your well-being outside of the workplace as well as within the workplace, I feel would help employees feel better about coming to work because they know that there's someone there that does care about their well-being and how they're feeling at that given point in time.
Definitely, and I think both of those are really good points. I would love to implement the recognition board. I think that's a great idea. We have a great spot for that back in the break room. I think that would be a good place where everyone can see it and we can all contribute as a group. And to Jacob's point, I definitely think that we can open up at least a couple sessions a week maybe where we can have another forum where we talk about what's going on in our life and see if that can help us all get to know each other better on a personal level. And I think that could all help us be better employees here. Definitely. Anybody else want to say anything about this forum today?
Well, we're always talking about goals, and
Yeah.
I feel like we're always pushing for goals and like, why haven't you gone here yet? Or like, why don't you get this many, Target red cards? And like, I feel like we just need to be better trained on how to do that instead of like, why aren't you doing that? So like, I feel like certain people are just struggling on how can they improve or ways that they can showcase the red card to our customers so that they're better informed instead of just pushing goals on us.
For sure, and I'm sorry that you took it from that point of view. I can see, like as you're saying it, I can see how it definitely seems that way. Do you guys think it would help if we did maybe like some role-playing activities where we could have like a fake interaction with the guests so we could have some practice on how we pitch our red cards? Think that would help if we did that a couple times a week maybe?
Yeah, I think that'd be a helpful exercise and kind of just see maybe from a customer's point of view how that maybe interaction kind of goes down and maybe the best way to handle certain reactions to the whole red card situation and things like that I think would be helpful.
For sure, definitely. Those are both really good points, and that if it made it seem like management does not care about your happiness here, that's a fallacy, because we definitely care about your happiness here, and I think that all of these things we're talking about could definitely improve that and get some discussion going. It's always the first step in correcting any problem is discussion.
Well, I have something to discuss. I'm pregnant.
Oh my goodness!
It ain't mine!
Oh, congratulations!
Well, I'm just not looking forward to, being on my leave of absence and not getting paid. That's my biggest problem here, not being happy here, knowing that I'm gonna leave and not be getting paid for my fun time with my baby.
Yeah, well,
Fun
as
time
always,
for them, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna have a heart. Babies are expensive. So you know what? We're gonna look into that. We're gonna sit down with our HR and with our corporate, and we're gonna try and fight for that. Because you have been working with our company for years,
So long.
and you're such a good employee. And you know what?
Thank
We're gonna
you.
fight on it. We're gonna try and make that happen for you.
Good, I can't wait. I hope it works.
Great, awesome. Any other points we want to make today in this monthly employee forum?
Well, I feel like the holiday time can get very challenging and it can be a lot of pressure on us. And I know because of how tough scheduling is that we can't really request off any time between Thanksgiving and New Year's. But I feel like we should at least be able to request one of the 3 holidays off just to get some, personal time and some time away from all the crazy shopping that's going on and to really, really just relax for a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. That would be a great opportunity for everyone to get some family time, to get some quality time. Do you think it'd be fair if we did a pool of people and chose names, and whoever wants to pick what day can pick what day? We can maybe say if we have 100 employees that are in this pool, 3 of them or a third of them could work on Thanksgiving, a third of them could work on Christmas, a third of them could work on New Year's. Would that seem fair?
I think that would be a step in the right direction at least to see how that works out, and if that works out, then great. If not, maybe we find a better solution for that as well. But it's always nice to experiment, see what works. Maybe if it doesn't work, then we come up with something else.
Definitely. All right, well, definitely convey all of these notes. These are great things we're talking about this month, guys. I really appreciate you guys opening up, talking about this to your manager, which I know is always hard to do, but I'm a person too, guys, and I don't know the problems unless you address them with me. So I definitely think this has been a successful forum today. And if you have any issues that you want to discuss between now and the next monthly forum, you can come find me. You can talk to HR, or since we're going to be doing these weekly get to know each other kind of sessions, we can talk about them then. So I think that's going to conclude today's forum. Does anybody have anything to add, or we're all good?
I'm just so happy.
I know, congratulations,
I know.
guys.
You
Congratulations.
I've been trying for so long.
Oh.